runners for the Daily Mirror Cup, and runners and riders just making their way out of the parade ring. Well, I'll run through the runners and riders for you for this Daily Mirror Cup. Distance run is 1,070 meters. This is the fourth race of the morning. The horses rated 21 to 40. We have a look at the first runner. That's number 1. That's Star Ace. Ace set of Star Spangled is Star Ace. Bearmare 8-year-old. Owned by Mr. Hasanga Jayaratne. Trained by S. Sridhar. Ridden by jockey Yogaraj. 59 kilos is drawn 1. Followed by number 2. That's Stormont. Admiral of the Fleet at a Starfire Girl. Owned by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards. Trained by S. D Mahesh. Ridden by jockey Kuldeep Singh, carrying that weight of 59 kilos, drawn 7. We have number 3, that's Honorius, ace set of Sayonara, owned by Fearless Stables and Stud Farms, trained by S.V. Madhyalagan, ridden by jockey K. Sanjeev in 58.5, drawn 6. Number 4 will be Torpedo, will be sporting the red cap. Hurricane State of Miss Pinky, owned by Fearless Stables and Stud Farms, trained by S.V. Madhyalagan, ridden by jockey S.D. Janaka, 57.5 is drawn 4. Number 5 will be Razor Wind, Varanara to Touch a Star, owned by Mrs. Gamini Jayaratne and JRS Irgul Bandara, is a chestnut mare 8-year-old. 56.5 is drawn 5. Followed by number 6, Night King, Charmot of Fresh Broccoli, is owned by Miss Nishara Jayaratne, trained by S. Sridhar, ridden by jockey S. Imran. It's a bay gelding 6-year-old, 55 kilos, drawn 3. And last but not the least is number 7, Zulu Fantasy, bay gelding 9-year-old, mathematician out of Sayonara, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards, trained by S. D Mahesh, ridden by jockey Irvan Singh. 54.5 kilos is drawn 2. That's the lineup for the Daily Mirror Cup as the horses passing the 7 furlong marker. That's Star Ace has been led towards the starting 8. So Star Ace and Razor Wind were the first 2 runners to have gone in. Joining these 2 runners was Zulu Fantasy, putting the white cap. Well, they're trying to load in Torpedo. Torpedo has been tried. Steps in is Torpedo. Alongside Honorius moves in. Stormont will get into draw number 7. And the one which will move into draw number 3 will be Night King. Night King being led up. Joining the rest of the runners is Night King. They are loaded. Ready to be dispatched as orders, and off they go. Getting a flyer, in fact, was sporting the red cap is Torpedo. So Torpedo is the one which shows out plenty of speed on the outside. Now being passed on the outside by Razor Wind, who comes and takes the initiative from Torpedo, is the one which is joining up on the outside. These 2 are fighting for supremacy. Right on the haunches comes the next is Night King, who's running third at this stage. They have been followed by Stormont, who's starting about 3-4 deep off the fence. The one on the inside railing is Honorius as they approach the final turn at the 600-meter marker. Not far behind comes the next is Zulu Fantasy, improving positions. Running last at the stage is Star Ace. They are well out into the straight, little over 400 to travel in the running of this Daily Mirror Cup, and it's still there in front as Torpedo. Has that useful lead of almost 2 in front. Honorius is the one taking the shortest way through. On the outside is Night King and Stormont with Zulu Fantasy on the far side. But inside the final 50 meters, it's Zulu Fantasy now comes and wins the Daily Mirror Cup from Night King, finishing on second. Then comes the other runners, so Stormont, followed by Honorius. Then comes Torpedo. The rest of the 2 runners was Razor Wind and Star Ace. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sporting the white cap, Zulu Fantasy emerged victorious, who's making his way towards the grandstand. Zulu Fantasy, mathematician out of Sayonara, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards, trained by S.D. Mahesh, ridden by jockey Irvan Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Right in front of the grandstand is Zulu Fantasy, carrying that weight of 54.5 kilos, was drawn to, emerged victorious to win the Daily Mirror Cup.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, Chief Guest, sir, for being present here. And we are firstly going to present the Daily Mirror Cup, very comfortably won by... It was not a fantasy, it was definitely a reality for Zulu Fantasy. Come on, put your hands together for the winner of the Daily Mirror Cup. Zulu Fantasy, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Edwards, and the trainer S.D. Mahesh and the jockey Irvan Singh.